is a test of the emergency broadcast system.
This is only a test.
DJs and MCs. This DJ, he gets down.
Listen to this jockey's introduction to
DJs and a mic with your host, DJ Mike.
Is that a timetable?
And DJ JP.
Well, get on it. It's your time.
Give me the mic.
Welcome to another episode of Two DJs and One Mic. And today we have the infamous DJ JP, and I'm the nice guy. So we want to thank Beatrice and Chris for joining us. Beautiful couple that just got married recently. Yes. And Jeffrey had the honors of being their DJ.
Yes, I did.
And so thank you guys for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Oh, not a problem. Not a problem. So we're going to get right into this interview, and we thank you guys. You're our first couple that we've had the opportunity to talk to about planning a wedding. So this is really big for us, and we're grateful for you guys agreeing to come on with us.
All right, thank you.
All right.
So question number one, Chris and Beatrice, can you share what your initial vision was for your wedding? Did it change over time?
I think it definitely changed over time. I know from the onset, Beatrice wanted an outdoor wedding. Mm-hmm. So even when we were looking for the venue, she kind of wanted a venue that she didn't have to decorate. So she wanted it to be like, we weren't looking at just botanical gardens, but she wanted a floral outdoor area that didn't need too much decorating. Mm-hmm. And then I think once we had the venue, she's good at doing like Pinterest boards to like make a vision. Mm-hmm. And then I think she had a vision there, and a lot of it was me trying to understand her vision for the planning and everything.
Yeah. Well, you did a good job. So now I understand why y'all had it at Botanical Gardens, because that was her vision. Because I was like, how did y'all look at different ones, or was that just the one you liked that you saw? Or
so I mean, going from Jackson, Mississippi to and planning the wedding in the DFW area. So we went in one weekend, and I think we toured 7 venues over 2 days. But the Botanical Gardens was the second one. And I mean, when the tour guide turned around and we were by the fountain, Beatrice did like a happy dance in a circle, like she loved what that one looked like. Mm-hmm. But we were trying to stick to a budget we drove at the beginning. Mm-hmm. So some of the venues we had to roll out to budget. I think after seeing 7, we narrowed it down to 2. Mm-hmm. But it was gonna be Clark Gardens the whole time. They just I could tell by her reaction that's the way we were going to go, but
all right.
we pretended for a week that it wasn't going to be them.
Okay.
So let me ask you this follow-up question, Chris. So in seeing what Beatrice's vision was, did you have a vision, or was your vision based on her vision?
A little bit based on. I never really had a vision for the visuals too much. A lot of mine were kind of an experience I wanted people to be able to have. So I looked for that part at the venues, because we knew we wanted to have about 150 people. So smaller venues would get ruled out because I wanted a dance floor. I didn't want one where just people were sitting the whole time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah, my opinion was more like experience based. So the vision part, I led a lot up to Beatrice and just tried to help her once I understood what she wanted.
Okay. And what was the first? I don't know if that's the next question, but was that the first thing you secured? Was the venue?
Yeah, I think so. That was the very first thing that we kind of locked down, about a year and a half before
Oh, okay. All right.
wedding. Yeah.
Yeah, we got engaged December 30th, 2022.
Mm-hmm.
And then we knew we wanted a fall wedding, but we didn't want to plan a wedding in 8 or 9 months.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why we went to 2024. And that meant, yeah, like she said, we got the venue 15 months or maybe 18 months out, 15 months out. And then we kind of got to slowly pick up everyone from there.
Okay.
So, how did you choose your vendors, and what advice would you give to other couples who are starting to pick their vendors?
Well, thinking about particular venue is like an open vendor policy, and so that was one of the things that we were deliberating between two venues, because one of them had everything kind of in-house, and the other one you kind of got to pick and choose. And because I liked the venue, and I was like, I think I will have the time to be able to dedicate to planning it.
Yeah.
So after we made a decision on the venue, I was like, okay, we're really doing this, and we're really gonna go and look for all these other things. That then I was like constantly on the Knot, and I joined lots of Facebook groups to figure out different vendors, and like I spent a lot of time looking at reviews as well, to figure out what like as we were looking for vendors, made that decision. And then we also, I guess with our caterer, we got it's everything, like the catering and bartending service were all together, as well as a lot of like the silverware, porcelain that you don't think about, and so they kind of handle all of that, which
made it a little easier, huh?
Yeah, we were okay with some itemization, but I don't need to see the price per spoon. That's I just kind of want that in bulk. So we kind of work from venue to caterer, and then to like photographer and DJ. But the biggest impact for us toward the beginning, and this was especially true at the caterer, was responsiveness. So we were extremely happy dealing with our caterer the whole time. And we had some that we had to send follow-up emails. And then when they replied, they asked us for information that if you scroll down is at the bottom of the email chain. And that was like a big red flag. And the caterer we ended up going with, before we signed them, Beatrice like messaged them a question in a Saturday afternoon, and they replied within 5 minutes. And I mean, we didn't expect them to always do that, but that was a really nice sign that they were trying for us.
Yeah.
So I have an important question in regards to something that you just said that I think is a very important thing, and that's response, quick response. So for you guys, the majority of the vendors that you hired, was that a big part in you hiring them because of the quick response time?
It absolutely, yeah. And we learned it because the caterer was the first vendor we did, I guess, after we got the venue. And seeing that vast array of response times, that became something we looked for. So, I mean, for like photographers, Beatrice dealt with most of that, but response time was a big way to weed people out. If they didn't respond quickly, she just didn't even consider them.
Okay, so response time was one. What about how much did reviews play into it?
It definitely played a big role. And like, there's so many different types of reviews. Like, there's Google reviews, there's there's all sorts of all the different wedding websites, and so kind of like going through that was important. I felt, and then we also got, I think a lot of it's like advice from people that really had weddings as well.
We'd follow up on any recommendations we got from friends or people we knew, and reviews definitely set up the list of people vendors we were going to talk to.
So say if they hit those two, but then you called them and talked to them, and did you have to vibe with them also? Did that matter, or did you just care about their work and their reviews?
There was a vibe, and there was one more thing that actually ruled out some we still had to follow up on, and it was just having your prices listed. This was especially true, actually. I think photographers were the most ambiguous with that. I think by the time, like, we ruled out some following up with some DJs just because they didn't have their prices listed, and we had a budget we were trying to stick to. And the ones without prices, we'd say our budget in the inquiry. They'd have the interview with us, we'd vibe, and at the end they'd pull them up and they were way over our budget, and we're like, well, sorry, man. I'm like, if you can't bring this down, wow, wasted an hour of both our time. But yeah, and then once the interview came, it was do they make us feel relaxed?
Yeah. That's good.
I was looking for relaxed. I don't know what all the main vibes are.
Well, I mean, she was kind of tough the first time I talked to her, though. She was like militant. I was like, okay, all right, make sure I stay on point here. But no, she was. She knew what she wanted to know, and she asked her direct questions, and I felt like we had a good vibe. I was like, okay, well, I hope so, because I mean, I know the guy that referred me to you. He's very different than me. I'm kind of laid back, kind of go, no, I'm gonna handle my business, but he's very go. And I just like to answer the questions and talk to you and communicate well with you. But yeah, that's good. So number one was response time, reviews, and then having a vibe. Yeah. So keep it moving there, Michael, unless you got something to throw in on that.
Well, these are answers that a lot of us never get until it's over. So I'm grateful that you guys agreed to sit down and talk with us, because I think it's an educational piece to a lot of vendors and also to brides, and grooms that are preparing to get married or, preparing to hire vendors. And response time is something that's huge. I have so many clients that I book that just because of that is big for them, where they tell me, well, I'm still waiting on like 5 DJs that I contacted a week ago, or, what have you. And this is just huge.
Yeah.
It's huge.
Sometimes we get phone calls, hey, you're the only one that answered the phone.
Yeah.
So, and I'm like, what are people doing?
It's very reassuring as the wedding's approaching that we know we're going to be able to reach the vendor.
Right.
Yeah. That I'm sure that's a big part of it too. Yeah. All right. So, what was the most unexpected part of planning a wedding that you didn't foresee coming to hit you right in the middle of the nose?
So we got fairly well prepared because over the past 2 years, we've gone to about 12 or 13 weddings.
Oh,
okay. We'll have to think on this one for a minute, but
no, it's fine. I guess you were prepared. You had I sent you a checklist every 30 days, so maybe that helped out too.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
So, are you saying that when you guys got engaged, you planned on going to weddings and just getting yourself familiar with what was to be expected as far as hiring, seeing the vibe that you wanted? Was that your thing?
It wasn't like a planned crashing of weddings to study.
Okay. Get the words out of my mouth. I'm like, okay, wedding crashes.
Yeah, they were a lot of close friends, and luckily they were even comfortable sharing prices with us on things. Coming in, one of our friends even shared their whole Google Drive of research for it.
Yeah.
So we had a ton of resources coming in. That made us feel really comfortable.
And then when we're at weddings, we're figuring out, okay, what did we like?
That's usually one of my questions. I don't know if I asked Beatrice that or not. What was something you didn't like about a DJ that you saw at a wedding? I don't know if I asked you that or not, but that's something I like to ask too. Okay, so now I know something that you don't like, and make sure we don't do that.
Yeah. I think there was one wedding we went to where I got to be the officiant, and it was like maybe 10 minutes before the ceremony, and I was like, I'm supposed to be mic'd up, I think.
Oh,
right?
wow.
Yeah.
And so then we had to chase people down to try to figure out how to do that. And
was it on the venue or was it the DJ?
It was more on the DJ because he was like really delayed and stuff like that.
Yeah, he arrived late, and then that meant there was no sound check. So while she was officiating, the sound kept going in and out
because it was very windy, and so that was also important. Like apparently, no one here heard. Like only the bride and groom heard. Like
what you did.
Talking about, which is I guess the most important thing. But they were like, yeah, like everyone.
Well, no, the audience likes to hear just in case you say something really funny or really romantic or mushy. I mean, I like for people to hear. I want to hear. I mean, even though I'm sitting there as a DJ, the sound man, I want to hear. I want the audience to hear too, because you get some great moments from ceremonies too.
Oh, you really do. It really allows, everybody to kind of connect, and it creates that emotional attachment that you're not even trying to create. Yeah. So it's a good thing.
Yeah.
The mic, it's a good thing. I've been at several weddings where I shed a couple of tears.
Yeah.
Just because of what I had the opportunity to witness. Just to see two people, two set of families, two set of friends, coming together as one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a beautiful thing.
Yes, it is.
So moving right along. So how did you go about selecting your music, and what role did music play in your overall feel for your wedding?
So we kind of cheated on this one because when we sent out the invites, we had everyone pick a song they wanted, and then that gave us an initial list to work off of. And there was an overall feel, and we wanted songs people could dance to, and also wanted people to be able to sing along to 80% of them. So we did a lot of throwback music, some more modern music, but it was basically a mix of those two. And I don't think we played a single song that you couldn't dance to. So it was all like dancing music. We didn't want just music that maybe people weren't familiar enough with.
Yeah. That everybody didn't know. And one of our guys out of Carolina, from the Duke area, he said the audience likes to hear what's going on. Nothing worse than being in the crowd and attempting to pay attention when you can't hear anything. So that really is a huge part, and that's why I try to always make sure that everybody can hear clearly. And sometimes nature can get in the way of different things, and you can't beat the wind, but you still want to hear where it's not going in and out. Yeah. So I think that's a huge part.
Well, I'm gonna ask this next question too, because I think it's unfair for you to ask the question about yourself.
Okay.
So I'm not gonna let you do that to yourself. So how important was it having the right DJ for your wedding? And what was it like working with DJ JP?
I think that's one of the most important things to have at your wedding, just because they're the person that really sets the tone, I think, for the whole event. And our venue is very unique, and so that was something we wanted someone that has worked at the venue before. So initially we kind of used the preferred vendor list, and then they weren't able to they were already booked, and so they had referred us to you guys. And the other thing is, with DJs, it's you speak with maybe the salesperson that's part of the organization, but it's not going to be the actual person that will be at your wedding. And so having making sure that the vibe is good whenever you are having the interview was extremely important. I think experience was also extremely important.
That was a big turnoff when we were interviewing or looking for DJ vendors, was not interacting with the DJ, instead interacting with the company liaison, or I'm not sure exactly what the role was. But yeah, I mean, after that experience at hers with the mic issue, it was really important to We wanted someone who knew that area, made us feel comfortable talking to them. I didn't really want during the ceremony and wedding to have to answer questions or anything. And DJ JP was awesome at the wedding, because even when he had a question, it was always very relaxed. We got several compliments from people about the MC skills at the wedding.
Yeah.
Everyone loved the way you did the Mission Impossible for the picture.
The table dash, the photo dash, yes.
Yeah.
Good job. Good job.
The only playlist we actually made that wasn't people picking was the cocktail hour one, but we heard the songs in the background while we were doing photos, and happy with that. And then I was actually impressed at some of the ways you blended the songs together that we picked. That was really impressive to me, because I've been to a bunch of weddings where it's just like next song plays, like the DJ's just kind of there to like hit play and MC a little bit, and you can tell you actually put time in to make them flow together.
Oh yes, sir. I don't want y'all to leave. I want y'all to stay out there with me the entire night. I want your shirt off, your tie around your head, you're sweating. I want people to say, "Stop, play a soul song, please."
I don't know if you saw that happening, but we were out there, and then when it slowed down, people were like, "Okay, we get a breather," and then it slowed down right into the pickup for the next one. Everyone's like, "Oh man, all right."
We're trying to kill them, Mike.
Yeah. Well, I'll give you guys a term that you may have not heard. For what you described, we described that as, or the term is push, play, and pray.
That they stay out there and dance. So we don't want to be push, play, and pray DJs.
Yeah,
we want to entertain you and keep you rocking.
Keep a flow.
Yeah, keep you flowing.
Yes.
Yes.
We also, I guess I also found out, like, when you get a DJ, it's like you're hiring a DJ, and then sometimes it's like the MC is someone different, or it should be a combination. Sometimes it's different though, and so that was something about the industry that I guess I didn't know about.
Yeah, I mean, some people are great DJs, some people are great MCs. Some of us just happen to. Some people have both, and
sometimes it's how they.
And it's how the company basis. Some companies send two people all the time, so they have help. I had somebody with me, but he was just to help me move equipment and do all that other stuff. Like normally it's my wife, but she had something. I think she had to go to another wedding. She went to go attend the wedding. So, but yeah, like you giving good stuff there. So would it have, when they told you that, was that a turnoff if they said they were sending two people, or did you just want one person?
Well, I guess it's like we had talked to someone who works as a DJ, and it was just like a friend of a friend, and they were like, "Oh, like, are you looking for an MC too?" And I was like, wait a second, I thought it's the same.
No, but most companies, the person that's DJing is the MC, and it can go a lot of different ways. It just depends on who you're dealing with. Yeah. But most of us, like Mike, he's his own MC. I'm my own MC, and a DJ. So it just depends. And sometimes it's kind of cool for us to work with somebody else to see how they style, how they handle, do everything and play off of them and follow their every move when they do stuff. But you have to be to work with somebody to do that for a little while.
And there's pros and cons to it. But if you have two great people, it turns out to be wonderful, because what it does, it frees the DJ up to be able to DJ and do certain things. Whereas if he's MCing and say he's doing the grand entrance, he has to DJ in MC.
Yeah.
Versus the MC just MCing it. And say if you have a couple that they have this elaborate mix of music and they're doing all of these different things, sometimes it requires you to have two people to make it seamless.
So like you guys just did y'all, but say if y'all did each bridal person with a different song, so that would have been a time where you kind of need two people. Okay, you got to play this song. He going to introduce them. And, but it just depends. But most of us, we find ways to figure it out no matter what's going on. But it's good. But that's a good one. I like that. And it's, oh gosh. There's my wife chiming in.
Yeah.
But yep. So what's the next one? Is this a question about you, Mike?
No, this is a question about you, sir.
Oh God.
No.
Did you experience any stress the day of the wedding? If so, what happened? What helped you stay calm? Was it the great planner that we worked with that kept you calm, or you just knew everything was all right? So any stressors?
Oh, there were definitely some hiccups. I know, like, so it was about the 5th time I was trying to tie a bow tie, and I knew going in, out of the 4 previous attempts, I failed twice and had to have someone else tie it, and the other 2 times I got it. And all those times took 40 minutes to an hour, even though it's a 2-minute.
Oh my gosh!
Wow.
Yeah, because they came and asked me. I'm like, hey, I don't know how to tie no bow tie.
I got a button.
I'm gonna learn that for next year. I'm gonna be like, I'm the bow tie tire. I can hook you up.
There's only 4 steps, and that last step, some of the instruction videos, they're like, and then you tweak it, and like magic, boom. And I'm like, well, where's the magic? Because
So that was your only stressor? Your bow tie?
I mean, it was an hour and a half.
Yeah,
that's
a stressor.
I mean, that's how we missed the walkthrough because of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There was
we were supposed to do a rehearsal, and y'all, because I was sitting there waiting on y'all to do a rehearsal, and we never got to do it. Then she said, "Well, they're just not gonna do it." And then they came and asked me about tying a bow tie. I said, "Well, I can do a lot of stuff, but that one, I've never had to. I always buy mine already tied."
Yeah.
So we had,
Go.
yeah.
So
Sorry, continue.
no, go ahead. I'm sorry.
We had that. There was an issue with a bridesmaid dress that had to get addressed. So that like slid the picture timeline a little bit.
Yeah.
And then
some things were delayed a little
yeah,
bit.
it was more just small delays, and we just worked through it.
Yeah, and like I tell everybody, you got a timeline, but it's not etched in stone. We want to stay on it, but if we have to move something to make sure we get it in, we just move it, and then you can cut something else short. Like we can. Only thing you can't cut is food, time, and ceremony. All that's got to go on their time frames. You can't cut those. But dinner, you can't cut. You can start stuff while the last person goes through, but you can't cut dinner. So, yeah. But that's cool. Beatrice, did you have anything that stressed you out and made you want to pull your hair out?
Oh.
Okay. There was... maybe she'll get. I can't think of anything else that stressed her, but there was an event that could have caused a lot of stress to somebody else. So after we did all our photos and we just sat down to eat, during the speeches, Beatrice noticed her wedding band was missing.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Did y'all find it?
No, but it fell off during pictures, and then she was like. I saw on her face she was gonna start looking, and I just was like, just enjoy it. Like, we just took pictures all around the gardens. Like, we are not finding it right now. Luckily, it was like it was fairly cheap. So like we're just gonna be able to get a replacement.
All right. Oh man. Wow. that could have been a bomber for the day, but y'all didn't let it affect y'all. That's good. Okay. Good.
Yeah. So that was a pretty big hiccup.
Yeah, that was stressful.
Wow.
I thought it was. I guess it's kind of funny now, and it's always going to be in the garden. That's somewhere.
Hey, either somebody mowed it, or maybe they got there with one of those things trying to find. Hey, look what I found!
Yeah.
Oh man, that's wow. What's up, Kevin? One of our good friends out of New York. He just joined the show. Kevin Pitts, how you doing, sir? Thank you for jumping on. But wow, well, I hate that. I'm sorry you lost. But you know what? I never would have known, because other brides probably would have been somewhere in the corner pouting and mad with the world because they lost it. But I'm glad you were able to maintain and not be upset.
I can get in my head a lot, and so one of my friends gave me really good advice. Like, she went during her wedding, she like to this day still regrets like that someone didn't give her the bouquet as she was walking down the aisle, and she was like very upset about that when she was walking down and like doing the ceremony and getting married. And so she was thinking about that, and she was like, I should have just been getting married, like being
glad to be marrying your boo.
Yeah, and so I thought that was really good advice, and that's what whenever I felt myself notice that I was like getting my head about something, or certain things maybe wasn't exactly what I wanted to be, I just kind of let it go, because I was like, well, it's only like a night, and so you don't really have a lot of time to like, you have to kind of be in the moment.
Well, that's good. I like that, and that's. I guess I'm gonna start giving that advice to all my brides. I do too. I tell them, hey, stay in the moment, and it's gonna go by faster than you think. So just try to enjoy it and take it all in, and don't be overwhelmed, and don't try to do too much, because if you do, you can get caught up quick.
Yeah. Well, and tomorrow, it's all about tomorrow. It's the next day.
Yeah, it's another.
You
day.
got the rest of your life to live together,
Yeah.
and some, the most important part about that is, the two people that are standing there.
Yeah.
So with that said, we've addressed some of the stressors. What were some of your favorite moments that took place on the wedding day?
Well, my favorite, some of my favorite dancing I saw was when everyone was out there for the Cupid Shuffle. Some of her aunts that came in didn't know that dance, but they were still in the middle of the dance floor, just kind of into the music while everyone else was doing the organized dance around them. And I loved it, but they just wanted to be part of it. And
Wow.
I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
Sorry, continue.
No, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, wow. I'm just listening.
I mean, seeing Beatrice walk out, because we did a first touch on the vows, but I didn't see her dress yet. So, I mean, when I saw her come out, that was.
Did you cry?
If I didn't cry, it was very, very close.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I couldn't exactly see your face when I was sitting there. But that gets me too. That's my favorite moment of a wedding too, when you actually see the bride start to walk down the aisle. That'll get me too. You get a little, because guys who are vulnerable enough to express and really let that, how much you actually love her, and she comes around that corner looking. So that's one of my favorite moments to a wedding too. But it's not about me. Go ahead, guys. I'm sorry.
Come back. He got lost. Come back.
Yeah, I absolutely love that. So, Beatrice or Chris, are you?
I think one of my favorite moments was when we did our private vows. Just because it wasn't it wasn't for anyone else, and also I didn't have it completely done. So I was okay, well, no one else has to hear it but him. And I think that really, I was very stressed right before that happened, and after that, I was when I was able to hug him, and I was okay, it'll be okay.
Yeah, it will. Yeah.
Then I think also just seeing people, from all over that we haven't seen in so long.
Yeah. Especially Singapore, London. We had people from all over. Yeah.
Yeah, getting to do that little meet and greet before the wedding was really cool, because it was nonstop bumping into people that are really good friends that I hadn't seen in a long time. Yeah, I mean, that whole weekend was just full of favorite moments and getting to catch up with everybody.
Yeah.
But the singular, if I had to pick one favorite, it would have been the first time seeing her walk out into the aisle.
Oh yeah.
So with all of the planning and seeing all of the different things that you saw, when you actually got to that moment and just seeing everything that you saw, was it anything like what you imagined?
How we pictured everything, or just
just everything. Just thinking about the weddings that you went through, the advice that you received, and how you have this vision in your head of how it's going to look.
Yeah.
Was it anything like that, or was it better?
I think to me it was better.
Yeah. I think it was better
because. Yeah, one thing I was very stressed about was people no-showing. And we recently went to a wedding where there was 3 tables that were empty, and we were in one of the tables. So it was just this very and I was are people gonna show up? Do they remember? Stuff like that. And so when I walked out and I saw there was, I was okay, that looks like there's a lot of people there. That made me I was okay, I think I was like very excited about that. Like it just was really, it made me really happy to see that.
And even though we liked all the vendors we hired and felt comfortable with them, you still don't know if they're going to show up day of until you see them show up. So we felt relaxed dealing with them going in, but then to see all of them perform well was like that. I mean, that's a great feeling too, because you're just in there, you're enjoying it, you're not feeling like anything has to be addressed or is in the back of your head because something went wrong. So that was wonderful too, because we had one of our other friends, just the cake, it got delivered on a hot Texas day and was like melting. So
as a vendor, is there anything we can do to put your mind at ease, or to that we could have made it that you would have felt, okay, I know they're showing up? Was there anything we could have did?
Well, I don't think we weren't really worried or stressed that they wouldn't show up. That's just what it made it better than our imagination of it.
Okay. All right.
I have stress dreams like the month before about like, I don't know, a caterer or not. It was like very. I was like, oh, raining, and then like no one showed, like none of the caterers showed. And then we were like, okay, you know what? Like it was like 9 o'clock, and I was like, okay, let's just like do what we can with what we have.
Some pizza, Whataburger.
So do you,
the response time that's the big put it mind at ease.
Okay.
If we have any questions, or we know you're following up because you're helping keep us on schedule too. That just feels supportive, and that really helps relaxing.
So let me ask you guys this, because this is, again, thank you, because this is great.
Yeah, it really is.
So do you think by experiencing everything that you experienced, going to the different weddings and doing all of the planning that you did, do you think that there were some side effects to that?
Some benefits, maybe.
Well, I know it was benefits, but I'm just saying, when you're having dreams about, I hope this happens, do you think that seeing some of the things in different weddings that didn't work, that that kind of creeped in on you, and you started feeling, in a way that, man, what ifs, what if this happens to us?
There were definitely things from other weddings that I think were at the front of our minds more, because like we didn't want that happening. I know one for me was I was at a wedding and they did have water available, but when I went up to each bar, they couldn't tell me where to get water. And I was like, well, I don't want my guests to not know where to get water when they go to the bar. So that was at like the front of my mind as something I wanted to take care of.
Wow. Yeah. I guess it can be a good and a bad thing.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, the information, and it's like, wow, because, and I wonder how you would have felt if there was a lot of that information that you didn't know, and you just went into your wedding, doing the regular planning, and you didn't know some of the horror stories. That would have made you feel more calm.
Maybe. I think the big control of it for us was like going through the flow ourselves. Because even in regards to the music, like my first dance with my mom, the song we picked, when we were dancing, I think the instrumental version got played, and my mom told me, she was like, oh, I wish they had the words, and I was like, I know, it's okay. And then we just enjoyed the rest. Like it wasn't like she let that get upset to her. And in our request, we didn't explicitly say what version or anything. So that wasn't a damper at all. Like I had a great moment with my mom during the mother-son dance, and I didn't want to micromanage everything. I wanted I wanted to like give the list and hand it off. But it, like, if you had the personality that kind of thing could like bog you down and make you upset, then little things like that just happening all over the place are gonna get to you.
Wow, this is interesting. Mr. Pitts, I had 8 people that showed up at my wedding, and 5 people crashed. 3 were DJs who just stopped in. I sat them down at the empty table. Well, y'all keep in mind, Mr. Pitts has been married a very long time. Very long time. Wow. Wow.
Interesting. Yeah.
I'm happy he got to fill up that table.
Yes.
Yeah, fill the back table.
Yes. Yes. All right.
Wow. Looking back, is there anything you wish you had done differently during the planning process?
I guess the main areas, like if we wasted time during planning, was did we? All of our vendors had advertised payment costs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, even just dealing, because we were trying to stay on the budget, even just dealing with the ones that you had to inquiry about for price.
Yeah.
No, we didn't end up going with any of them because the price was above what we told them our budget was at anyway.
Yeah.
So that was just extra work for us, or even following up to the non-responsive people.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I would do that, and then my friend is like, "Oh, my policy is if they don't respond within 24 hours, I just get rid of it."
Move on. Wow.
Okay, all right. I was like, I guess that is probably a good, good advice to do. I think one thing that we kind of got there's some conflict about was like I had like an idea of how I wanted things to look like, and then we would get like I realized that basically I wasn't explaining things. I didn't completely explain what my idea was in my head. And so I would keep a lot of like those stressors and like my plans to myself. And really I should have let him be a part of it. But and then it was like, oh wait, you wanted it to be like this way and stuff like that. So
yeah, through some of the vendor interviews is how I found out some of the things she wanted, or she found out some of the things I wanted. Like actually in our interview with the photographer, that's when she found out I wanted a first look, or not a first look. I wanted to see her coming down the aisle the first time.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Because we agreed on private vows, but we never talked about like whether we'd see each other or not.
Uh-huh.
We found out in an interview with a vendor, and I can't remember when I got on the call with you. That's when we found out, or we had a communication during that one too, and I can't remember what it was, but there was another thing that maybe we didn't disclose to one another.
I'll try to bring it out of you because I want to know everything I can to use against you, or help you one way or the other. So, I got to drill you in and give it back to you. And so, okay, he listened to me. He heard everything we said. So let me ask you this. You always say budget. So would it be better if you, like, when you talk, okay, I'm going to call Mike. Mike, my budget for a DJ is 15, whatever it is. Would it be better if y'all did it like that too? Or did you tell us up front, or did you just let us give you what it was?
No, I think we saw yours before we went.
Yeah, you did. I was just very out and low. But I'm just saying, do you think it's something that couples should do? Hey, this is my budget. I have budgeted for you, but be realistic about it, because that's another thing. Was some prices shocking to you guys?
Like, well, the only reason they weren't shocking is because we had all this study going into it from.
Okay, all right.
And a big thing we learned from those is that it's really easy to overshoot on your initial plans by a lot.
Yes, yeah.
So we did overshoot by a little bit at the end. I think we went about 10% over our budget.
Mm.
But basically up until the last 4 to 6 weeks, we were still on budget. Mm-hmm. It was at the very end when we added the buses, and we added a couple things, and that brought us over.
Yeah.
And I mean, we did some plus minus. We made an initial estimate. We raised some things, saved money on others, but being like if you have a budget goal, like that has to be at the forefront. Like, I mean, when you're doing your big vendors of the caterer, venue, DJ, photographer, if you're going way over on them, like you're done when it gets time to doing centerpieces and floor, because the range on flowers is insane. You can spend 500 to like 20 grand real easy. So, yeah, but budget was at the forefront of our filtering process right off the bat, and that was just because it was important for us to
stick to it.
Yeah,
I guess so. Yeah, someone said it's like the best advice is just to stick to the budget. You know, I was like, yeah, I guess.
Well, what if your budget is not realistic though? For your expectations.
Yeah, that could be where the problem is, because we had all that. I mean, we had plenty of knowledge going in about
we
what
had done a lot of research on that.
Yeah.
About,
What is really?
I mean, a lot of people don't do research. They just go out the gate. Okay, I'm going to pay $400 for this, $300 for that. Oh man, I'm going to have this elaborate flower thing, or
Right.
I'm going to have a 5-piece band and it's only $200. So yeah, I mean, I think you just need research. I think that's some great advice, you guys. Research, talk to your other friends, go to other weddings, see things, and know what you like and what you don't like. So when you go in, you have an idea of what you want to do.
Yeah, because that would be the same issue you'd run into with budgeting for anything.
Yeah.
I mean, you can make a grocery budget, but if you didn't read up on what food costs, you're going to go in and just completely fail right away.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. Oh, holy mollies, yes.
Yes. One of our DJs had a good question too in regards to response. And he said he agrees with the response, but weekends for DJs can be very hectic sometimes, especially if you're reaching out to DJs on the weekend.
On a Saturday or Friday night when they're working.
And that just depends on how their company is set up.
And I have a question too. So we have automatic emails that are replied. Is that a turnoff? Or do you not tell or do you just like, as long as I get a response, I'm okay? No,
that wasn't a turnoff. And we didn't. So I gave that example about the caterer, but that wasn't above and beyond. That wasn't necessarily a thing, because even in future communications, I'm not going to expect that, because we know everyone's working weddings on weekends.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And see, but a lot of people may not realize that, and so it could be a double-edged sword. Okay, I got a team that's answering the phone on Saturday, but then you say I'd rather talk to the actual person. So you know what I mean? So it can be tough both a lot of ways.
I think if you had an automated response for when you are busy on the weekends, like doing venues, I mean, that would be really helpful. I mean, as long as you get back, then could get it back
within the time frame you say you're gonna get back to them. Okay, all right, I like that.
Yeah, Chris says knowledge in whatever you do will impact how your DJ will perform in what is best to make your dreams work.
Yeah, Chris, I like that.
Thank you, Chris.
And giving your people your visions and letting them know what you want music-wise, your thoughts of how you want your dance floor, how you want everything to be. I think that was a great idea for you guys, because when you get songs from the guests, that's a buy-in. Okay, I put that song in, so they're gonna dance, and then that's gonna make other people. So they've got a buy-in, and sometimes I'll go around and talk to the table. Hey, what song do you guys like? So I can make sure I get a buy-in from them that night, so that way you're about, hey, you told me this was your song, man. What are you doing? Let's go. But I didn't have to do that with y'all at all. From the first song to the last beat till we had to run them out of there. They were on the dance floor having a good time. So it was a great crowd. I love crowds like that. Sometimes I want to put the good ones in a box, take it to my next wedding, and drop it on the dance floor. But because they're not all like that. Not every wedding is that. You do your best to give it to them, but not everybody.
Yeah, it's always different. Yeah. But I think it's just a testament to the homework and the work that you guys put in. Yeah. Because I would say you made it easy for everyone. You put in all the hard work, which is a great thing, because it was your day and you got what you wanted. Maybe not to the T, but you got a celebration. I'm pretty sure there are so many memories that you can look back on that you hold near and dear to you from that experience.
So, hey, if you guys have any questions for them, I know they're putting them in already, but would you guys like to ask us any questions about anything?
Well, I did remember one thing that really had me pumped up to have you as a DJ, and it was you gave the sample videos from your other weddings.
Okay.
And you gave like 3 different musical taste venues, and the crowds were into what you were doing at all of them.
Yeah.
And seeing that, I remember, I'm sure she remembers me telling her, I was like, oh, he's gonna keep the energy So like I was really excited for that because that was the main thing I wanted from the DJ from the music part. I wanted that energy level to stay up. I wanted the night to just keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't, he wasn't in our initial meeting, and so, but like me sending him those videos or letting him see those videos and stuff like helped him. And then I think he also listened to your podcast.
Yeah, I listened to 2 or 3 episodes of the podcast. Okay.
Well, thank you.
They know what they're doing in the industry. Like I'm in good hands.
And then
Wow. Thank you.
yeah, like this, I think it was like the summer mix or something.
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
Yeah, I'll do those for the workout people. Like I'll just throw a mix out there for like Camp Gladiator or
Okay.
Orange Theory. Because me and my wife did Camp Gladiator for like 3 years, so they would always ask me for mixes. So every now and then I'll get in the studio and do about an hour mix for the hour workout and throw it in there. And here comes another question from the audience.
Let's see what we got. Oh, someone checking in.
Oh, he's just checking in. I thought that was a what if.
Yeah. Well, Chris said good idea. Video feedback. Yeah.
So you guys, that was something that was good for you guys with the videos and the mixes and
you having 3 different styles of music. So I think you had like one country, one pop.
I think I might have the only country mix out there.
And and we didn't have that at a wedding, but seeing that you could work a crowd of like 3 different genres of music and have them all going wild on the dance floor, I was like, okay, like he's gonna need no direction. He's gonna get that dance floor.
But think about this. Say now, what if Beatrice would have wanted me to take it to Singapore and play some music from Singapore? Or we would have mixed in. I mean, because I've had some where I did a Persian wedding and they gave me like 140 Persian songs. And, but now we have to be so diverse. We can't just be one dimensional. I can't just play hip hop and R&B. I got to know country. I got to know this. I need to know pop, EDM, a little bit of everything because we just can't play for one crowd anymore because it's so diverse.
Yeah.
So,
well, especially in the private sector. You know, if you're at a club or something, but in the private sector, in the private sector, you have to have a diverse taste for music, and it's best that you're able to go in those different directions. Mm-hmm. And I know for Jeff and myself, for me, I love those type of situations where I can just play any and everything. It's just funner because you're not just stuck playing one genre of music. Mm-hmm. And you're, by playing all of these different types of music, you really see how people like more than one thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because I was able to go somewhere everywhere with them, man. From old 90s hip hop to EDM to this to that. I mean, we went a little bit of everywhere. We had
20, 30-year jumps in the songs.
Yeah, we had some country.
It's great.
But it was fun because they were great artists. They danced the whole. I mean, they were in there the whole time, and and that makes your job easy.
Another good thing again to Chris and Beatrice, they made it so much easier by doing all of the homework.
Oh yeah, they did.
And giving you some of what was needed, asking their guests what they like. I'm saying that just made for a wonderful experience. And then with your knowledge of what to add to and what to take away, that just made it easy up.
And how to put it all in one blender and mix it all up.
Make a nice little smoothie.
So, wow. So any other questions or any advice? That's it. What advice would you give Brian, a couple that's just starting out that got engaged in December and get married in the next year? Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Okay. All right.
You already know.
Yeah. What advice would you give a couple?
Who just their journey toward planning the wedding?
Yeah, keep your expectations realistic regarding what your budget or timeline is. If you're planning it to get married in 3 months, you're not going to have the selection of venues or vendors as you would if you had like the year and a half, 2 years. Budget, same deal. You're gonna have a different selection because I don't think I've ever been to a wedding where I didn't have fun, and that's from like the fire hall, bingo hall weddings to like we've been to like the 350 person giant Indian weddings, and your budget's all over the place on. They're all fun. Don't worry about what people are. Don't worry about other people. Do it for yourself.
Hey, I like that. That's a good one. Do it for yourself. Be within reason with yourself. Don't do it to impress somebody else. Do it on a realistic term for yourself.
Yeah.
So we had a question from Chris from Boston.
Yeah, and we know you may have answered this to some extent.
But he wants
what turns you off about meeting with some DJ companies prior to your wedding?
So unresponsiveness and not listing this clearly on the website. I understand there's some variability, but at least have a range in there.
Yeah.
Because we did that budget research, so if we just saw they were over budget, we didn't do it.
Yeah.
And then after sitting through those couple meetings where the budget was always too high or the price was always too high at the end, we just stopped even talking to vendors who didn't have the prices listed.
I think also, like, if let's say it's a bigger company and there's someone that's that you're talking to, it's not the actual I would like to be able to talk to who will actually would be at the wedding. And so I think even with you, DJ JP, like I was surprised. I was like, oh, you're gonna be the one.
Yeah, I think she asked me that like 2 or 3 times. Are you gonna be our DJ? I will really check my calendar. I don't think I have anything, so I guess I'll be. No, but I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be your DJ. My buddy recommended me, so of course I'm gonna do it. If he sent it to me, unless it's something totally going on, no, I was gonna do it because I have to make sure I take care of Gabriel if he sends me something. So yeah, he sent it to my way. So I was like, yeah, of course I'm gonna do it. And I like Clark Gardens. It's kind of fun. It's different. And you don't want to be in a stuffy building all the time. I like what you did with the garden and then getting married in front of the right there, and then having other stuff over in the other part, the water running, and just nature. As long as it's not 200, it was good, and it wasn't 200, so it was really good, and we had fun. I didn't have to take off everything to get out of there. It was not bad. So the weather played along, and it was good. It was a little overcast, and by the time it got dark, it was really nice out there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I guess being able to talk to knowing
the actual
DJ and being able to talk to them is big.
Yeah.
Question for you guys from me. So if a vendor, do you respond back and say, hey, I'm no longer interested, or do you leave them just hanging?
If they reply back, we do. Mm-hmm. If we're still waiting on a reply, I mean, we
well, say if they ask you, hey, are you still interested? Do you leave them hanging, or do you go ahead and let them off the hook?
I think we're pretty good at letting them know.
Yeah, we let them.
Yeah, because that's one of the things we have a problem with. Responding. If you're doing your job and then they never reply back, and you're like, are you still looking? So I think the communication needs to be a little bit better, coming both ways sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. One's going to encourage the other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So once you tell me, just say, hey, no, I'm not interested. I think that saves us all time.
Oh, it does.
Yeah.
And it's bad when it's, either way it's bad. You should respond both ways, because it's nothing like when we give all of the information that's needed, mm-hmm. and someone says, well, I'll contact you back within 24 hours or 48 hours, and you have to reach back out to them, and sometimes they don't respond, or it's, oh, we went in another direction.
Yeah. Let us know that, because that, to me, that means, okay, now I know that they're going another way. Boy, Chris is on it. Chris must not have nothing to do. The Celtics not playing. The Celtics not playing tonight.
It doesn't matter who's not.
The Red Sox not in it.
Read the question.
What you would want to talk directly with the DJ? With myself, that's how I need to contact my couples.
To connect
with my couple. Very good to hear that. Yeah, Chris, he might be a single out, but if you're a multi-op and you handle all this stuff, but in my company, this is what we do. You tell me, say that Beatrice would have called me and I was booked already. I said, well, Beatrice, before we move any further, I want you to meet who I think would be the best for your wedding. And before you even book with us, I want you to meet him, have a conversation, Zoom call with him, and see if y'all vibe together. If not, we'll keep moving down the line until we find you one. Mm-hmm. Or we'll rotate back. But that's what I like. I don't want you to book and then you be like, no, we don't. No, we get you to talk to the DJ, so you guys are You know, y'all know each other.
connect-
Yeah,
create
build that
connection.
connection. Because I think you just can't show up. Who is this guy? He don't know nothing about us. We didn't talk to him. He don't know how I want my music, my vision, or what I said about I want to, yeah. So yeah, I think that's important. That's a good one. So guys, make sure you actually connect them with the DJ who's doing the event, and don't just try to go in there and book them and never do that. So that's one motto in our company. We definitely do that. We want you to be happy and satisfied with who you're talking to.
Mm-hmm.
And you another way you helped us when we were not interviewing, we're doing like our planning videos with you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you had that whole checklist on your website, which was fantastic. Because there was like when you brought up the cake song, me and Beatrice were both like, "What?" Like we have to pick a song for the cake cutting.
Yeah, and a lot of people. That's another thing. A lot of us have never planned a wedding, so you have no idea of all the things like napkins. This. Don't forget some good soft shoes if you decide to take your shoes off. Candles, napkins, this, that. So we have a checklist that goes out that gives you constant reminders of everything to try to help you along the way, because you might have forgotten something. Hey, that kicked another thought. Hopefully I didn't put buses on there that makes you get those buses though.
No.
But yeah, so we try to do everything to help and give advice and without being overbearing. Here's a little bit of advice if you want to use it. If not,
Well, yeah, and then you'd offer the suggestions, which helped alleviate the immediate panic that set in when we were like, "Oh my God, what is that? How do we plan for that?"
Yeah, a lot of people.
And then,
the cake song.
Want
to pick the cake song? We doing a cake? What? Yeah, so that's why we have it all in there so they can go through everything. You can see it, and then by the time you get ready to talk to us, I can help you with everything. That's why I always say if you need some advice on anything, just give us a call and we'll try to help you or get you a list of stuff that we recommend. But I always tell people, pick stuff that means something to you. Mm-hmm. Don't just pick a song. Have a meaning with it. Like you said, you and your mom had a great moment because that song meant something to you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so yeah.
Well, we want to definitely thank you guys again.
Yeah,
Chris,
we've been trying to get a couple on for a year and a half, and when they told me they wanted to come, on. I was like, okay.
At the end of the wedding, we were like, "Yeah, we want to take you up on that because we had a great time. It was, we couldn't have been happier."
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and it's just nice to hear you guys' perspective. So it's always nice because a lot of times we don't get to hear.
Yeah, we're always guessing, but you guys solidified a lot of stuff to us, like response time. It's important, a good vibe, having stuff out there people can see. Okay, I can go check you out. As far as other ones, did they have videos or some of the other vendors? What helped with them? Just looking at their work, or
social media. I'll like take a look at their social media presence and things like that. And a lot of times they'll like post a video of like what they've done, venues and crowds that they've done, and so that
okay.
Excited about
Well, this has been wonderful. Just like what Chris said, he said this has been like CP said that. Where's CP's statement at? He said this interview has knowledge gems embedded all over the must-watch for any wedding vendors, because you can go back and get some knowledge. You guys have shared some inside secrets because we try to figure it out. We try to do our best to try to get inside the brains of our couples or people who reach out to us. But I mean, those tips, hey, quickly respond, have a good vibe, have a good presence, make sure your stuff is tight, and have good, good reviews, and, have good reviews. Have a place where people can go see your reviews.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so I know I brought up the budget a lot, but I thought of a good analogy for it when it's not listed, and it almost feels like you're car shopping at that moment. Because if we see your price on the website, we know what we're going in for. Mm-hmm. When there's no price listed and we gave you a budget, and then you come in over the top, it feels like I'm like negotiating for a car right now, and there's already enough stress. I don't want to feel like I'm on a car lot now.
Okay, so that's a big one.
Well, yeah, it's a big one because I feel like it's like you're being undermined. You already knew that, your prices was over our budget. Why are we having this conversation? You know, you already knew that. You could have said that, hey, you know, we're not going to be able to do this for you. Our prices are here and your budget is here. Instead of trying to talk me into it.
Yeah. So the rest of the inconveniences, like the no response time and stuff, it's more of an inconvenience, and then you write them off. That one almost feels like are you hustling me? Because I told you how much money I was willing to spend. Undermined is a great term for it. That because there's already so much work we did, and then to spend an hour talking at the end, it was insulting, to be honest, to like have that happen at the end.
Yeah, and I could tell from your response when you talked about it, because you've touched on it like maybe 4 times. Each time it's like you kind of get tight, but I can understand that, because that it's like, hey, if you already know what I'm willing to spend, please don't waste my time and have a conversation with me that's going nowhere.
That's
I'm not going
tough though, Mike.
But it is.
You still want an opportunity to talk to him. But
the opportunity should start with, this is where our prices are, and this is what you're willing to spend. Can we have a conversation?
But most of the time, we don't know that going in.
But he said he told them.
Okay, I mean
that's different.
Yeah, that's different.
I'm just saying, when you don't know, it's different. But when you know, that's a different conversation, and that could always, because it puts you in a different category. It's like you're putting yourself in a category of, I'm trying to get over, when you look at it from their perspective.
Yeah.
Because if someone did it to me, I would have the same, like, what? I told you what I want to spend.
Yeah, but sometimes you feel like your product is good enough to. I mean, I understand, and I respect that.
Yeah, we understand why they did it too. Like the point of view bringing it up, JP, we understand. It was like, I think the most egregious was a photographer, and we really liked what they did, but we sent in, hey, this is how much we're willing to pay. And then when the quotes come in at the end, the lowest one was like 2,000 over for what we wanted.
Oh my, you're right. So we're like, tell you about this Honda Civic, then they're gonna try to sell you a Bentley. I got it. I understand.
Yeah, when we asked if there any coming down, he made it blatantly clear there was no negotiating.
You know what? I'm gonna tell you this: if somebody tells me their budget, and I really want to do it, and I feel like it's a good couple I vibe with, I'll try to come in their budget, especially if it's reasonable. Like if you tell somebody something unreasonable, then hey, we're not a good fit for each other.
Yeah.
And there were some who came in a little, like their price was a little high, so they had to talk with us, and they were like, maybe we can try and like work it out somehow, and that was fine. That wasn't stressful. It was just that blatant over the top. And then saying they couldn't come down, and we're like, well, we can't go up, so what do we do?
Okay. All right. We're going to respect y'all's time, because we know she got a word. Last question from Stacey.
That's fine.
Connecticut.
Yes, Connecticut. Rapid fire question for couple. Keeping budget and communication aside, what one advice would you have to each of these vendors? Vendors, DJs, wedding planners, and photographers.
For your venue, what advice would you have for your venue?
Yes. Oh yeah, venue. Sorry. That's venue, DJ, weddings, and photographers.
So I don't know how exactly they convey this, but like that one we felt, Clark Gardens we felt the most relaxed at. It felt like every question we had, they were like, well, like if you want, they were very accommodating. Okay, that's the venue was accommodating. That's what it was. Because anytime we asked the question, like the dance floor is out, and I was like, oh, like, is the dance floor always out? And they're like, it could be out or not out. Like, it's totally up to you. You tell us what you want, we make it happen. I mean, that's a great feeling to have when you're touring the venue.
Yeah.
You want French fries? Oh, how do you want? Yeah, that's great.
So what about your DJ? What's one thing that you, aside from advice you have for each of these, what advice would you have for your DJ?
So Beatrice should probably talk to the DJ and wedding, or DJ and photographer. She did the most research on that.
I guess. I think like fit is very important for that, and so like that initial conversation was like very important, and if it's not a good fit, it just might not be a good fit, and that's okay, you know. And it's not there's anything.
Yeah, we have to learn not to take it personal too when you don't pick.
Yeah.
Sometimes we take it a little personal. He didn't pick me. God dog it. So what about your wedding planner? What advice would you give her?
And not communication. Well, I think it's still I know it says not communication, but I think that comment's more in regards to response time.
Yeah.
It would, for my advice for wedding planner is make sure like inputs they give, like there are good notes about it, and it's communicated across the wedding planning team, so that whenever we go and talk to somebody, like we could see that you put in work based on what we said previously.
Okay. And I have one question. I'm gonna let y'all go after this. You mentioned it earlier. How do y'all feel about all-inclusive versus picking? Would that be something? Do you want to have the option to pick, or was it some all-inclusive packages that you liked, or which way would you prefer it to be if you had to just pick?
There some we liked, and it would have been a big load off because you don't have to do any of the planning stuff. So we're really happy with how ours came out. I
think it's if you don't necessarily have a lot of time, if you're planning, in a short period of time, I feel like having that all-inclusive will be a lot easier, because it's like, okay, then you just pick and choose from the choices that you have, and they all know each other and have worked together. But if you have, we specifically it was a conversation about, do we think we could find all of the vendors if we decided to pick Clark Garden, because that is based on the venue too. And
Did Clark Garden has a venue list too, though, right?
Yeah, they have a preferred vendor list that we would go through and stuff, but
we did check all of them out as well.
Yeah, but there's some that it's just it's all everything is,
it included caterer, photographer. It was an all-inclusive deal.
Yeah.
And
DJ. It's all inclusive.
If you didn't have time to plan,
that would be
that's good. Okay, so we have to remember that if you don't have time to plan, it's a good deal. But if you want to plan it out and pick everybody personally, you can go the other way. So without anything else, Mike, you got anything?
I just want to thank you guys again for coming on with us. It's really been a blast and very educational. And we wish you guys the best in your union. When you get back to Dallas, you guys can come and sit in the studio with us.
Yeah. And when you go to Singapore, make sure you go to the Sky Thing, go up the stairs to ride the Sky Thing across to the island, to Sedona. Not Sedona, what is it? I forgot. But I have a coffee mug. But you got to walk up those 200 stairs and ride the car.
Like a cable car, I think.
Yeah, ride the cable car to the island over there where Universal Studios is.
Yeah, I'll make sure we take him and stuff.
Get your glutes ready.
It's gonna be tight.
We were like, where are we going? What do we do to us? But it was fun. We had a good time. So, but you're gonna love Singapore, man. I had a good time, and I told my wife I would love to move there if I could.
I'm really excited for it.
Yeah, you go. Yeah, and make sure you go get you some crabs.
I must have free food. I'm gonna go.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, we can talk all night. But y'all have a blessed one. Enjoy. We're so glad you guys came on, and I can't thank y'all enough for coming on the podcast and talking to us.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having us. I hope what we said.
Have a wonderful
evening. All right. Thank you.